Well, the UK is all set to announce plans to improve the combat readiness of its military. The European nation intends to spend $3.3 billion on replenishing munitions and stockpiles that have been depleted by the war in Ukraine. The war has exposed weaknesses in the British military, including dwindling reserves of munitions and a lack of industrial capacity needed to ramp up production quickly. Now, the Defence Command paper will set out a strategy to reshape forces to counter the more immediate threat posed by Russia and the long-term challenge from China. The new strategy would include plans for a new global response force and an improved surge capacity force made up of former soldiers. As part of the new defence strategy, the government said it would prioritise investment in science and technology, including the use of robotics and laser weapons. Earlier, the UK announced it would spend more on defence to take it to about 2.2% of the GDP this year and the next year, from about 2% previously. After the United States, the UK has been the second largest supplier of military aid to the Ukraine. It sent the first shoulder-launched anti-air and anti-tank weapons to Ukraine in the run-up to the invasion. In February, UK announced it would be the first country to begin training Ukrainian pilots on NATO fighter jets. For more on this, our correspondent Alex Izat sent us this report from London. Listen in.
The government has outlined plans to invest £2.5 billion in the UK armed forces. Stockpiles of munitions have been low since the war in Ukraine, and getting the military defence back up to a decent standard is a priority. But it's not just weapons. Money will also be spent modernising service accommodation and prioritising science and technology. As well as the investment, a global response force will be established to allow the UK to deploy a high readiness force with capabilities across all domains. Now, the move to improve the UK's military position comes after a recent review that identified Russia and China as the most acute threats to the UK security. The UK has led the way in terms of European support for Ukraine and remains a leading contributor to NATO, spending at least 2% of GDP on defence. And now with this funding boost, the government wants to ensure that not all the money, expertise and weaponry goes outside of its own defence. This is Alex Izat reporting for WION. World is One.